Imagine two people. Same age, same job, same paycheck. 5 years later, one of them has $100,000 sitting in an investment account. The other has about $800 in a savings account and a drawer full of credit card statements. What happened? It wasn't luck. It wasn't a raise. It wasn't even that one of them was smarter than the other. The difference came down to one thing. And it's something almost nobody talks about when they explain why building wealth is so hard. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Reaching your first $100,000 isn't really a math problem. It's a psychology problem. And until you understand why your brain is working against you, no budgeting app or side hustle is gonna fix it.
Most people think getting to $100,000 is just about saving more. Spend less, save more, done. And sure, that's technically correct, but it misses something huge. Because here's what actually happens in real life. You get paid on Friday, you tell yourself you're going to put $300 into savings this month. Then Saturday rolls around and your friends want to go out. The new phone you've been eyeing just dropped in price, your car makes a weird noise, your Netflix is up for renewal, and oh look, there's a new streaming service you kind of want to try. By the time you remember your savings goal, it's already Thursday again. Sound familiar? This isn't a willpower problem. This is a design problem. The entire modern financial system is designed, and I mean engineered, to keep money flowing out of your pocket and into someone else's. Every notification, every sale, every buy now, pay later option exists for one reason: to get between you and your savings goal. But here's where it gets really interesting. Even when people do start saving, most of them quit before they ever hit $100,000. And the reason why comes down to something called the psychology of invisible progress.
Let's say you start saving $500 a month. That's solid. You're doing the right thing. Month 1, you've got $500. Month 3, $1,500. End of the year, $6,000. Now, $6,000 is genuinely good, but it doesn't feel like much. It's not going to buy you a house. It's not going to let you quit your job. Compared to the $100,000 you're aiming for, you're only 6% of the way there, after a whole year of effort. This is where most people emotionally check out. There's a concept in psychology called the plateau of latent potential. Think of it like an ice cube sitting in a freezing cold room. You slowly turn the heat up. 25 degrees, 26 degrees, 27 degrees. Nothing visible is happening. The ice just sits there. But the heat is accumulating the whole time. Then you hit 32 degrees, and suddenly the ice melts almost instantly. Building wealth works exactly the same way. The early years of saving look like nothing. The numbers feel small. The progress feels invisible. But the compounding is happening underneath the surface, quietly, whether you can see it or not. Here's what that actually looks like with numbers. Let's say you invest $500 a month and earn a 9% average annual return, which is roughly what a broad index fund has historically done over long periods. In year 1, you add about $540 in investment growth on top of your savings. Not exciting. In year 3, you're earning over $2,000 a year just from growth. But in year 7, your money is making over $7,000 a year by itself. And the moment you cross $100,000, that account is generating nearly $9,000 a year, almost $750 a month, without you doing anything extra. That's the ice cube melting. The problem is that most people quit in year 2 or 3, right before the invisible progress starts becoming visible.
So why is it so psychologically hard to stay consistent during those early years? It comes down to something called present bias. Your brain is hardwired to value things that are happening right now much more than things happening in the future. It's not a flaw, it's actually how humans evolved. For most of human history, worrying out your finances 10 years from now was a luxury. Surviving today was the priority. But that ancient wiring is a disaster in the modern world. When you're deciding between spending $100 tonight or saving it for a future that feels abstract and distant, your brain genuinely experiences the fun of spending as more real than the benefit of saving. The pleasure is concrete and immediate. The reward of saving is foggy and far away. This is also why financial advice that just says, be disciplined, doesn't work. You're not undisciplined. You're human. And humans are not naturally built for long-term delayed gratification. We need systems and structures to bridge the gap between our present biased brain and our future goals. There's another layer to this too. It's called lifestyle inflation, and it's the silent killer of first-time wealth builders. Here's how it works. You get a raise. Maybe it's $400 extra a month. For about 2 weeks, that feels amazing. Then your lifestyle quietly adjusts. You upgrade your apartment, or your food delivery habit gets a little more frequent, or you start justifying the nicer version of things because, hey, you can afford it now. 3 months later, you're right back to saving the same amount, or less, even though your income went up. Studies show that the majority of people spend nearly every dollar of a raise within 6 months of receiving it. Not because they're reckless, because lifestyle inflation is automatic. It happens without a decision. And that's the key word, automatic. The people who reach $100,000 fastest are not the ones with the most discipline. They're the ones who make wealth building automatic, so their future self doesn't have to fight their present self every single month.
So, what does that actually look like in practice? First, automate before you can spend. The single most powerful thing you can do is set up an automatic transfer to your investment or savings account on the same day your paycheck lands. Not after bills, not after groceries, first. The famous phrase is pay yourself first, but the key word that people miss is automatic. Don't give your present biased brain a choice. Remove the decision entirely. Second, understand that the first $100,000 is the hardest, and it's supposed to be hard. Not because you're failing, because of how compounding math works. The early years are all input and almost no visible output. But every dollar you put in during those years is worth exponentially more than a dollar you put in later. A dollar invested at 25 can be worth 8 or 10 times a dollar invested at 45. The clock is the most powerful asset you have. Third, stop measuring your progress against where you want to be. Start measuring it against where you were. If you had $12,000 a year ago and you have $18,000 today, that's not only $18,000. That's 50% growth. Reframe the milestone. Celebrate the process. And fourth, when your income grows, automate that too. Decide right now, before the next raise lands, that half of every income increase goes straight to savings before you ever see it. This short circuits lifestyle inflation before it starts.
Here's the thing about the first $100,000 that nobody tells you. It's not the most important number because of what it buys you. It's important because of what it proves. It proves that you have a system. It proves that you can stay consistent through the years when the progress felt invisible. It proves that you can make your future self a priority, even when your present self is screaming at you to spend. And once you've done it once you've watched the ice melt, everything changes. Not just in your bank account, in how you think about money altogether. The second $100,000 is faster than the first. The third is faster than the second, because the compounding doesn't just happen in your account, it happens in your mindset. Most people never start because they're waiting to feel ready. Most people who start quit because they can't see the progress. The ones who make it are just the ones who understood that the game was designed to be slow at the beginning, and they decided to play it anyway. The ice cube is already on the table. The only question is whether you're going to keep turning up the heat.